The last thing I ever wanted to do was write my life story. My father did, and my grandfather did, and I have both their books. But the last thing I wanted to do was to do that. And I'll tell you something quite honestly. I did it for one reason, because somebody else was going to, and I didn't want somebody else writing up all my secrets and failures and all the rest. So I said, I'll write it myself, and then I know what goes into it. And so I wrote my life story, and I called it Not As Bad As the Truth, which may seem a funny title. But some years ago, some bad men started rumors about me. They were lies. They weren't true at all. And it began to affect my work because people heard the rumors and cancelled invitations to me to speak. And I complained to my wife about it. She found it painful. A wife who hears lies about her husband and knows that they're affecting his work is bound to be upset. But I complained to the Lord, and I really let the Lord have an earful. I said, Lord, they're telling lies, it's spoiling my work, and I really let the Lord have it. And you know what the Lord said to me? He said, David, the worst they can say about you is not as bad as the truth. And you know, I fell on the floor laughing. I thought, what an extraordinary thing to say. And it made me thank the Lord that the people who were telling lies didn't know the whole truth. And I told my wife about this, and she laughed too. But the Lord did add, I know the worst, and I still love you and use you. And so I made up my mind then that if ever I wrote my life story, that's the title, Not As Bad As the Truth. So I've written it. I've tried to be as honest as I can. I've let you into my heart and into my mind, talked about my family life, how I was brought up, and my farming life, and then my preaching ministry. And then I've talked about some of the funniest things that have happened to me. And one chapter apparently has left people in real laughter. The next chapter has left them in tears because I talk about the death of my daughter and the death of my sister and death of both my sisters. And that's a rather sad chapter. But I've had wonderfully happy times in my life and sad times too. And there it is, Not As Bad As the Truth. If ever you see it and you want to know the truth about me, then that's the book to get.